A good Erev Shabbos, Parshat Toldot. Before we start, we'd just like to welcome our listeners that are tuning in from around the world through Torah Anytime. And today's concept on Parnassa, on the Parsha, is being sponsored by 𝗟𝗓𝗦𝗓, Rabbi Yehoshua ben Shlomo. Okay, this is a fun topic for me. You know, this week's Parsha we get introduced to one of our famous bad guys. There you go, it's Esav. And Esav was known as Edom. Now, I want you to pull over one of your children. Actually, they may know the answer. Pull over a random guy in the street and say, why is Esav called Edom? So the classic answer that you may hear is, because he was red. He was born red. But the truth is, that's not why he was called Edom. This Parsha tells us here in Toldot, Vayomer Esav el Yaakov, right, when Yaakov was making the dish, and Esav wanted the dish, he said, give me from that red stuff. I'm hungry, I'm tired. Pasuk says, 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗦𝗦, and therefore Esav is called Edom. He's called red. Now, does that sound fair? I mean, it sounds a bit harsh. You know, you called the food red. Now he's going to be called red for eternity. So let me ask you a question. I'm sitting over here, Baruch Hashem, Eretz Yisrael. I have a chumash that's on top of this. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's a shtender, right? That's what we call it. You're familiar with it. They have it all around the world. It's called a shtender. Now, would it be true to say that this, which my book is on top of, is a piece of wood? It would. Of course it would. Yes, a shtender is a piece of wood. Now, what if somebody said, that's not a shtender, that's not a piece of wood, that's a brown thing? I mean, it's true, the shtender happens to be brown. But why don't we call it a brown thing? So the reason is quite deep. The reason is because we refer to things by their purpose. It's true that this piece of wood is brown, but I don't call it brown and I don't call it a piece of wood because there are many pieces of wood and there are many things that are brown. We call it a shtender. We call it a shtender. We call it a desk, or we call it a bima, because we call it a table, because we look at what its purpose is. And perhaps to look at something and to call it by its color, call it by its color, is the most superficial way of relating to reality. So when Esav here referred to this food as the red stuff, the reason why the Torah is telling us is as 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗦𝗦 is because this was a manifestation of the whole worldview of Esav. This is what Esav was about. Esav was about taking something and looking at it from its superficial level, not looking at it from a pnimi level. On the contrast, Bnei Yisrael, Bnei Yaakov, what are we meant to do? We're meant to be people who don't look at things superficially. Right? When it comes to our limud Torah, when it comes to avodas Hashem, right? It's not about the dress, right? It's not about the hak, it's not about the brand name. That's not what it's about. Right? It's about the emes. It's about avodas Hashem, right? And it's something we need to be aware of, right? As we're living in Galus Edom, right? How much Esav has infiltrated into the world of Torah, into the world of avodas Hashem, and how careful we need to be to make sure that we're focused on the pnimius, we're focused on what it's about. But it goes a lot deeper than that, Chevron. Because in this week's Parsha, Hashem gave the bracha of Esav to Yaakov. The bracha of Esav, Hashem gave to Yaakov. He gave to me, he gave to you. And what that means is that even in the world of Esav, right, Esav is called ish sadeh. Right, as Rabbi Gerzi likes to say, he pointed it out to me. Ish sadeh, he was a man of the field. When we talk about jobs today, right, we say, what field are you in? It's fascinating, right? What field are you in? Where did that come from? This is what Esav was about. Esav is the world of gashmius. Esav is the world of physicality. Esav is the world of work. And when Hashem gave Yaakov the bracha of Esav, when Hashem gave the Jewish people the bracha of Esav, what he did was that he was telling us is that it's our mission not just to be pnimi when it comes to our Torah mitzvahs and our mezuzah and our lulav and our tefillin, right, and our Shabbos table, not just to be pnimi there. But when we go to work, when we're involved in gashmias, that we should be people who are able to peel away the superficiality and to be able to connect to the pnimius, connect to the spirituality at work, the spirituality in money, the spirituality in our gashmias. So therefore, when we're at work, right, it's not just about the money. Right? It's not about the kavod that we get. That we recognize that when we're out there involved in Gashmias, as Bnei Yisrael, we're Keneged Edom. We have the ability to be able to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu and uplift that Gashmias, uplift that money, uplift that work, because that is who we are. So how do we do it? It's a big topic, Chevra. You know, the base metrics program here, we spent months and months, right, in depth, how to understand the sugya of work, the sugya of Parnasa, how to be able to do it. But just one taste, one simple avodah that we can do. Each one of you at your desk, at your office, wherever you work, from your living room, your kitchen, that you can do right now. Ask yourself, how in one way, in one small way, is the work that I am doing, my involvement of whatever area of Parnasa that you're doing, making the world a better place? How is it in some direct, or perhaps a little bit indirect way, helping a person, helping society, right? Helping the culture, helping develop the world in some way, some shape or form. Just to think about that, at your desk right now, right, when you get to the work tomorrow, to think about that can just open up a consciousness of being a deeper person, of being a Yid. But as Hashem, we should all have hatzlacha and 𝗖𝗛𝗓𝗦𝗦 of being able to be Bnei Yisrael. We should be able to not just survive being in Gashmias, that we should thrive and we should uplift. Have a good Shabbos.